And for the second year in a row, China finds themselves in the gold medal match here at the Overwatch World Cup. I'm Golden Boy along with Bren. You got Reinforced in Sideshow, and what a game that was, gentlemen. I mean, seriously, you couldn't have asked me, did you just do that? Really?
Sorry.
Really? As I'm trying to break it down and be the esports host of the year, I can't seem to get over here. Anyway.
You look
That
so
was a
short.
funny prank, Brennan.
Hold on.
Very
Did you
funny
really just put
prank.
it back over again?
I did. Come on.
Back down with you.
Okay.
Wow, you're so short.
Oh my God.
of you.
So short.
I'm a good man. All
All
right.
right.
Why is
Wow.
this?
What did you want to say?
I don't know, man. What's going on? We've lost the train of thought here.
Okay.
This is
A
maddening.
fantastic match between France and China.
Thank you for
so
keeping
tall.
us back on track, Brennan.
Yeah, no problem.
Whoa.
Whoa, what in the Lord's name?
What in the
is this?
world?
What is this?
It's a Vass's rodent
What?
friend?
What?
Oh,
No.
what?
What?
Oh no! Whoa! What is going on? By God, I can't
What is
believe it.
happening?
It's dragging him away.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chad of Ass Rodent Friend.
I'm just. He's gone. What happened?
They've taken Johnny.
They've taken Johnny.
Whipped him away. Right when we were going to be hearing some incredible analysis from China and France. He's back.
What was that?
I don't know.
What happened?
Are you okay?
Who was that?
I don't know what
I
that.
have no idea.
You just roll the highlights. I have no idea what's going on right now. I'm lost.
We've been invaded.
We've been invaded by a Vass's rodent friend. Anyway, well, I would say one thing's for certain: Jinmu wasn't playing any games. That's for sure.
Absolutely was not Gotham Boy. He was not playing any games.
Jinmu is cool.
Holy moly.
Oh,
A very
match.
close back and forth match despite the scoreline, which would suggest otherwise. France giving it their all. And now we're going to be seeing France going, obviously, to
this is a great attempt at breaking down the game, Brent.
smash.
This is a great attempt. I
mean,
applaud it.
honestly, though, watching this just cemented in my mind that Jinmu is just me, but with more mechanical skill.
What was that
Because,
scream?
I mean, the Wilhelm scream. It's a,
Love
it's a
the Wilhelm
classic
scream.
in filmmaking.
All right, can we bring it back? Sideshow, you have a point.
Yeah, I actually do. I think that China's DPS were phenomenal throughout this series. I mean, France put up a decent match, and they had most of their success while they were playing Bastion kind of competitions. But China to be able to hold on here on Horizon, and then take it to the next map and just demolish with Gushui playing stuff like the Winston, sets up so much space for Eileen and Jinmu to go wild. This DPS duo is nuts.
And I was genuinely being serious when I said that Jinmu is kind of like me, but with more mechanical skill.
Right, he also
what
has
I mean by that.
more
So you
game
mean
sense,
Jinmu's
more
like you?
intelligence.
Yes, he's got a bit more game
I don't
sense.
get you. I don't get you. But here we go. This is the Fan Pulse presented by T-Mobile. Make sure you get out there, use that hashtag T-Mobile MVP, because a lot of people seem to be giving love to Corey. You got a lot of Corey chants in the crowd. People were losing their minds.
Yep, he was great in that last game.
He was. He truly was.
His aim is phenomenal.
Yes, I love the Overwatch World Cup. Like, oh, this is a long tweet, by the way. I can't believe this is 240 characters.
200-word essay.
Yes, that's right. But I couldn't agree more. The representation of all the teams, and they're putting it all out there on the line, especially after such a chaotic and awesome season of the Overwatch League. It just goes to show how much these players care about performing on the big stage like this. And then, hey, we got a boom on the broadcast.
Yep, but that's like it's an old school one, you know, from the old FPS Doug. You remember the scene? You probably do.
I do. I remember FPS Doug.
From a while ago, wasn't it?
This is terrible.
Good couple of years ago.
This is terrible. I don't even know. You know, okay, well, here's the deal, folks. Bren clearly isn't the MVP of this desk, but we want you guys to go out there and vote for who you think is going to be the Overwatch World Cup MVP, because T-Mobile wants you, the fans, to help decide this year's Overwatch World Cup most valuable player. And once the semifinals matches begin later today, as they have, you can actually get out there and vote by using that hashtag T-Mobile MVP and your player's battle tag. Also, you can go on Twitch and utilize the widget there as well. Be sure to keep up with the Overwatch World Cup action with T-Mobile, whose network now reaches farther than ever before. Kind of like Johnny's arms.
Yeah, you are really just still scuffed.
Look.
Brushed
You
dirt.
are
I'm out
Yeah.
of breath.
Okay.
I'm out of breath.
It's crazy. It's
I'm
crazy.
boomed.
All right.
Listen, the players are ready.
Predictions.
The
Brent.
players are in their seats. The game is abound. And of course, I'm going to be predicting South Korea for this one. I think
Fair.
that they are going to be taking the bronze finalist match.
Well, South Korea actually lost to France in the group stages, and this is their opportunity for revenge. And they did play a bunch of off-meta stuff during that group stage match, and I think that that's the main reason that they lost. I'm agreeing with Brent. I think it's going to be South Korea to take this.
I think that France are probably boomed after that semifinal
No,
loss.
genuinely, I'm with
And
you.
I think that South Korea is just going to go out there and stomp them.
Wow. Okay. Well, Reinforced got
with you.
boomed.
I'm
He
with you.
thinks everyone.
I
Okay.
gotta
I don't know
redo
what's
my
going on.
hair.
We're going to
I'm
send it
done.
down to the casters to get ready for the bronze medal matchup. You got Jaws and Leg Day on the call.
Cheers, guys, on the desk. That was a rather interesting segment, if you will.
Just having some rodents come on desk.
Yeah. And I wasn't talking about Bren either.
Yeah, Northside show.
Yeah. France versus South Korea. Can South Korea obtain revenge? A little bit of an unexpected loss a little bit earlier on today from a lot of players on the front squad coming in through from contenders as well, matching up up against some of the big boys.
Now South Korea, they have to play for that bronze medal, going out another third or fourth. No way to get any higher at this point, but they have had the boon jaws of the last hour and a bit. They've been able to watch France play, and when we watch France play, you've got to take note of that signature composition they're bringing out. They've got the Thara, they've got the Pharmacy, well, they've got the Pharmacy and they've got the Bastion as well. The sort of double unit where you try to bring everyone into the range of your Bastion, you're just shepherding them via Leaf's Thara.
Yeah, well, I'd also be very careful if I was South Korea about Soon's Tracer as well. I didn't think we'd see a whole lot of Tracer in the World Cup, but here we are in 2019, seeing a little bit of Tracer. And the problem is, I think if you almost tip, well, you can tip the favor in your,
You can tip the scales in your favor.
that's the one. Tip the scales in your favor by throwing South Korea through the ringer a little bit. Pick something a little bit off meta like Soon has been with the Tracer. It seems like South Korea are unable to adapt ever so quickly.
We're going to be throwing both of our teams over to Ilios in the first of our set of maps. It's going to be first to 3 yet again, Jaws. France in the white, South Korea in the blue.
Hardest had to be one of the main players I had to keep my eye on, especially coming to the World Cup. He had such great success in the Ghost meta, a little bit less so after the meta did change, but seeing him back on DPS has been quite a sight to behold. Same with Leaf, signature Doomfist has to go up against Architect this time around, and a formidable foe. A master of all, more often than not, hit scan projectile. It doesn't really matter if it's a hero in the game, he's mastered it. Mono will end up going down first to hardest as Leaf just playing a little bit more defensively now, making sure Architect can't get on his front line, and France end up winning this first fight. A beautiful little boot by FD God as well, since Choi down the well, and France end up capping first.
Carpe, they got super aggressive. He used that Shadow Step to get into the backline of France, tried to strain their communication, but the pressure was instantly applied. He had to use that Wraithhawk to get out. The second of that's used, Jaws finds himself in the middle of a melee with a French team. Easily taken down. The focus fire was there. France now in control, and they're now going to be able to control these avenues of engagement with a Doomfist. That's incredibly potent.
It's very early coalescence. That's a big knock up as well. Stuff taking a little bit too much damage. FD God trying to protect the back line, but Carpe's already dead. FD God gets focused out by the coalescence, and now France without a beat might be in a little bit of trouble. Architect with a beautiful uppercut to get out of the way of Leaf, but both backlines gonna have to be careful now. The meteor strikes go high in the sky, but Leaf manages to meet Architect in the 1v1 and takes him out too. The beat from South Korea to surge them forward, but have they got enough manpower to actually stay in this one? I don't think so, and in fact, they're backing off.
Such fantastic counterplay there from the side of Leaf. Question is, what does FD God want to do with the sound barrier? Is he going to wait for Troy to have this Gravitic Flux? It's a really good counter, Jaws, but maybe he wants to use it to get aggressive. You can try and deal with a Gravitic Flux just by using Moira healing. FD God's caught by an accretion. He now knows to be on guard, but he may not be stunned out of this.
There is the Flux. They're all brought together with the Hole as well. There's Death Blossom happening as well. The beat's going to come out just in time to save Hardest life. Architect is the first to fall in the engagement, but Carpe's going to go down as well. South Korea in a bad way, as France now nearing 70% on well.
Perhaps too much preparation from South Korea for that Bastion and Pharmacy. Going in for this mirror match, Leaf versus Architect. Right now, the Leaf's falling definitely in France's favor. Hip going to get aggressive here. The Coalescence wants to get a surprise attack, break the tempo that South Korea have attained.
Super early coalescence here from Hip. They're playing so far up. They know South Korea have to touch, so if you play this far up, you might just force South Korea out of position. FD God was caught a little bit unaware there as Carpe used the Death Blossom, and now South Korea finally gaining control of the map as France end up backing off or just dying and going back to spawn, and South Korea should be able to find the flip.
France may have tried to turn the tempo on South Korea, but that meant that they were right where South Korea wanted them, presenting a ready backboard behind so many members. You can just charge up that punch if you're Architect Jaws, go into them, smack them against that wall, deliver the burst damage, get an early pick, and then you got a 5v6 advantage for a brawl where France, they've given up their position to try and get the element of surprise. It's a trade that doesn't always work out. Tech 36, he can be the hero of the next fight, but may not need to actually invest here. France only needs to win one fight, but at 99%, they can play for economy.
Yeah, FD God's already dead, so I don't think there's any way France want to fight this one. Like you said, a lot of time to work with here, so France are going to back off.
Perhaps you can try and make a fake engagement here, make Mano use that supercharger and disengage using the speed boost off FD God. South Korea might be inclined to chase, make a mistake and put themselves in a vulnerable situation.
Tech 36 going aggressive, there's the flux up in the sky, does turn around to make sure no one's coming from behind him, and Carpe's already dead. Meteor strike coming through from Leaf, straight on top of Architect, he read him like a book, and now France getting on the point, acquiring percent. South Korea have to act now, or they could just lose the map. They do so by using the beat, the flux is going to come up as well, as Leaf is sent low. He's sent to the ground, but he's got the support, the Moira is back. But Tech 36 is going to fall to Choi, but they end up trading Sigmas. With Tech going down, it's going to be South Korea trying to pick off Leaf. It's their key to success. He's going to try and find the kill onto the Orisa, but using that Fortified to get away fairly early.
Mano's all out of resources now, though. George, you can see FD God is on the back behind him. It's falling so low, and Lucio's actually going to chase.
Chubbs is going to go down here. FD God looking for some boost, but South Korea still in control. 75% and now building. France need to find some kills. Chubbs is going to come back in time, but Tech 36 is going to have hardly any protection. A big boom from FD God. He doesn't manage to find anybody, and Hardest gets found out on the side as Carpe finds the kill.
And he used his Death Blossom, Jaws. That's not going to be available. 88%, it's last fight territory.
Architect find the uppercut on Leaf. France now need to be the ones that act fast. Chubb's got the supercharger ready to go. He does lay it out, but they need to find a pick. Leaf coming back from spawn's going to be a little while. If they check Architect, might be able to do it.
Using a supercharged Coalescence, this is a lot of penetrating damage into the midst of South Korea. In comes the Wrecking Ball with a pile driver potentially.
Bedosen with the late Coalescence too, helping the front line out immensely. FD God finds the boot, but Arte's in the back line. A beat to try and save them as Architect ends up going down. It's all up to Hardest to try and push France towards victory, but FD God takes the game into his own hands. He boops Carpe down into the well.
France, they have to stay on the point here, though, Jaws. They cannot afford to get off while overtime's in session.
Overtime still ticking down. You got to be careful now. Leaf is going to be so vulnerable. A beat for South Korea. It only lands on supports, but it might be worth it. Manu's going to be able to come back in on the Monkey as well to buy some more space and time, but Architect now finding Leaf, but France manages to find the flip.
Now, South Korea, they have to be the ones on the point, and Architect's gone down.
Tech 36 on this legendary Diva coming up back into him. IDK trying to find boost, but finds little to nothing. It's going to be able to support the Reaper in the back, and now the Reaper unleashing the Death Blossom in the front. It gets eaten up by the DM, but a little bit more damage on the mech will eject the Pilot Diva. OT still ticking through. This OT is lasting longer in series history, to be fair with you, Harry. I'm not entirely sure how long it's been. Feels longer than the map itself. Choi comes back with the mines and fires one, but Leaf's still not done with this just yet.
Not too much value from that Meteor Strike, but still, France being picked away.
South Korea still find the flip, and in a blink of an eye, OT ticked down. And South Korea will find well.
Choi Yobin, one of the members of the Overwatch League winning San Francisco, shot great value out of that minefield, locking down the primary point of entrance for France, ensuring that entry frags gained a whole new definition. Josh just getting fragged upon entry, walking into those mines. Don't quite expect them, especially when they're a little bit higher, not actually put on the ground, but sticking to the walls can create an element of surprise you don't usually expect, especially if you're a Lucio, or if you're coming in as a tank, you can detonate multiple at once with your shields. France looking to be pretty effective when going even. Reaper versus Reaper, Doomfist versus Doomfist. This may be one of the most crucial matchups, composition versus composition, over the course of not only this tournament, but this particular match. France not going to give in on this mirror just yet. Not going to go over to the Bastion and the Pharmacy.
Ruin to be the place to go as well. Hitman in a little bit of trouble, had to fade away and use the Mega Health Pack. Oh, France are fairly pushed up here. They can use that Mega to their advantage. However, Doomfist just looking for insta-kills, won't help you if you just go down. Just like Architect tried to do at least, however.
Carpe's in danger. Doesn't have his rig.
Chubbs is going to get owned though. Architect pushing him into a wall, and now France need to find something rather quick. Leaf ends up going down as well as Bezotin chases him out. And with South Korea's main tanks falling in the front line, not really too helpful. As soon as Chubbs falls, they lose the static shield and they use the Bastion to really Curry around. Not Bastion, of course, but a Bastion of hope in the Orisa.
Carpe here learning from his mistakes. He was caught out before using that roadblock to escape, but this time he does the same thing, but he informs South Korea. He knows that Leaf's going to be looking for that punch, and he knows that Leaf usually plays Doomfist very defensively, so France aren't as prepared to cover him when he tries to go in, get that Reaper frag. South Korea can easily clean him up. It's a huge bait coming through from Carpe, and now South Korea are in control. For a crewing percentage, they can lock down the entrances.
Leaf trying to be a little bit aggressive in the sidelines, but he does get spotted out rather quickly. Coalescence coming out early for South Korea. Meteor strike for Leaf. He tries to jump to the back line, but little to no avail as he gets halted straight into Architect. Meteor strike for Architect as well as France are on the retreat. Nothing they can do about this. Nice couple extra kills for Architect. They finish the rest of France off.
You gotta really weigh up when you're a Doomfist Jaws. Meteor Strike can sort of act like a Deadeye or a Barrage, and it leaves the DPS character incredibly vulnerable when their landing is so telegraphed against another Doomfist. That means they're easily able to charge up a punch. Second you touch down, they're gonna be slamming you into a wall. South Korea have got plenty of ults for this upcoming engagement. We're going to have 4 by the time all is said and done, and they're opening up early.
Flux is coming out. FD God using the beat, saves his team just in time. But that supercharge from Manu as he's just sitting there like a sentry gun. Joe Urban's going to go in. Carpe as well throws his whole self on top of France. They managed to almost team kill him. Just need to clean up Leaf in the end. There we go. 6 people dead for France, and South Korea continue to hold.
4 ultimates used over there. South Korea potentially over-investing in that particular fight. They still have to hold on for 1 more, and France are going to have 3 of their own, including that Gravitic Flux.
Super early engagement for South Korea once again. Hardest using that Death Blossom defensively, but didn't really find anything. Architect was already out of there by the time the Death Blossom got any damage off. They do trade, Choi for FD God, but Architect is still safe, and France still have to touch. It's now 90% on the board. Architect throws himself in once again. Who is actually going to touch for France now? FD God's only just come back up, and it's only 5% away. Flux comes out for France too. Tech 30 Fake finds nothing, and Architect with a 2-man Meteor Strike is going to finish off France, and South Korea will find the first map in the series.
2-0 on Ilios. Jaws looking very good here, and of course we did have all that time to study Team France during that previous engagement they had with Team China, and obviously Coach Krusty has been talking to the guys and trying to get them back in the game after that loss to the USA.
Let's toss to a quick break, go. We'll see you guys in a sec.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Last 2 years, represent France is a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When esport was recognized in US or in.
Prepare to fight!
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Connie.
That's some accident. I can help you file a claim on the State Farm app.
My insurance app doesn't do that.
Indeed. Let's split a cab to the car.
Every superhero has an origin story. We all gotta start somewhere. For us, it was the U.S. Air Force.
BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon. Facebook Gaming, a world of play. Corsair, do your thing. And by NVIDIA.
Hey guys, welcome back. South Korea facing up against France. South Korea looking for the redemption after France handed them a loss a little earlier on today.
3 times winners of the Overwatch World Cup right here, struck down mere hours ago by Team USA, much to the love of our local crowd here in Anaheim, California. But France remains the last hope of EU in this bracket. Going to be looking to claim that third place behind China and USA. Going to be moving over onto Hybrid now, Jaws, and I'm expecting we're probably going to be seeing some of that Bastion in the Pharmacy. I keep saying it, and I keep saying it until France make me look less wrong.
Well, I hope so. Soon has just been absolutely dominating on the Bastion. I want to see him a little bit more on the Widowmaker as well, please, soon. Thank you very much. And I got to say, France, especially when you're looking at Well, it's like, wow, this is insane how fast they're taking these fights, and the way the two Doomfists play and interact with each other too. Architect is very much willing to just throw himself with the backline. And we see France just playing a little bit more defensively, just waiting for Architect, either trying to find the mutual stuns, or even just when he flings himself in, he has to use abilities to get out, and then following up after that, because they know Architect is then out of cooldowns to use.
Yeah, Leaf is definitely stylistically out of these two, the far more defensive. Doomfist likes to go for his counter punches when it's far more telegraphed where his counterpart is going to be going. And we saw Carpe actually changing up his playstyle, at least the team changing their playstyle around how Carpe was playing to try and deal with that. So Carpe TP into the back, then uses Rifle to get out. That means the Reaper's vulnerable, right? You go in after that. Really try and make Leaf play a bit more aggressive, but then that's when Architect gets to be the defensive boot Doomfist. In that case, great baits coming out from Carpe, and I wonder if the same thing is going to be occurring here, if we see similar compositions between these two, or if there is going to be this constant war of iteration between the two teams. Oh, yeah, you're going to do this, well, I'm going to do this, and try and deal with this here and there. Maybe we're going to use a Halt on Carpe after he uses Rifle. Maybe that's our best plan to get rid of that Reaper damage.
King's Row is going to be the next map. France making a small substitution as well. We've got Soon coming in and Hardest stepping away. France, they're on the defense first, and they've chosen that Bastion. There you go. Fire Mercy combo coming out as well. You got your wish, Harry.
That's exactly what I want to see. Leaf's been an absolute monster on the Rocket Queen thus far. Soon and Co. crouching away, going to be a little bit hidden. South Korea know exactly what to expect here. Coming out with both the Farah and the Hanzo draws. This is all about crossfires. You need to force the attention of the Sigma. You need to try and make sure that you can make that Sigma look in two different directions at once, allowing for potentially an opening in the shield to get some damage onto Soon.
Oh, very early rotation. Actually, FD Nagord already goes down. No mortality now available for France, and high in the sky, Architect raining death from above with those rockets. Choi may have got rocked, but the rest of France are going to end up falling. What a quick offense for South Korea. Like I said before, looking for that redemption, Harry. Here you go, first point cap on the first push.
Well, I talked about crossfires, Josh. I didn't accept Tri-Fire coming through both of those projectile DPS, as well as a flank from Choyobin, of all people. Those hyperspheres do a lot of damage, but you can start hitting them direct. France were not prepared for 3 angles of attack coming through from South Korea, especially when each one is doing so much damage, and it's reflected right now in the ultimate charge. Look at how well Choyobin's doing. He is about 40% ahead of his counterpart in Tech 3-6 right now. As for 2 prepared to have a quick duel, trying to control this flank is so important when you want a Hanzo to be able to get round and get a couple of free shots.
Carpe does end up going down. IDK does find the res, and now the cart is moving underneath this archway. It'll be rather difficult, especially if you're going up a defending Farah, but Leaf already goes down. Choi is going to suffer the same fate for France. Still an awkward situation where they can hold here, but they got to watch out for Architect. He's nearing that barrage.
Soon has to reposition. Cannot afford to be without the Sigma shield right now. It's taken too much damage. For now, it's all about rotations. Don't allow Architect to know exactly where you are. Make him peek so that he's in more danger in order to accrue that information. You can see right now he's round the back. Choyobin wants to distract him to allow a road in for Architect.
There's the window. Soon doing a whole bunch of damage. Catches Mano on the exit. They still control the payload as well. South Korea going to have to wait this one out. Architect, though, Harry, is in the back line trying to duel. Same with Choi, who's now in no man's land, basically. The Graspers is used, but so is the Flux. He does get rocked out of the sky. It's going to do almost negative damage, but the Dragons are coming in to try and buy a little bit more space. However, South Korea just happy now. Just moving forwards on this payload, as they still acquired some space. I mean, France here, maybe they should have pushed in. I mean, those Dragons did negative. And there you go, Architect from the sky gets taken out by Soon. Immortality Field doing a lot of work, but Mano doing a little bit more as Soon ends up going down. And now it's going to be all down to Leaf, just trying to force people into this bookstore so the splash damage just destroys them.
Mano was trying to finish the work with a Valkyrie. He's going to start him exactly where he stands. It's a stalemate now, but France, they're going to take a little bit longer to respawn in Badoshin. He can force everyone forward with the Transcendence Jaws, but not before he takes out a hit first.
Yeah, Leaf's not going to have a pocket in this instance, so he's going to have to play so safe. He's even half HP also. FD God's going to have to work some magic to heal him up in the skies. Chubbs ends up going down to a damage boost plus a Discord orb. Look at the assists across that kill.
Soon's on Tracer now. What's he going to be able to do with this? Wants to try and get into the backline, then they get a one clip on Potion or force out that Transcendence, so it's not available to try and counteract tech on this Gravitic Flux.
Supercharger coming out to try and make this next push work. FD God uses that window, but that Transcendence doing a whole bunch of work, and Architect just dealing with these flankers. Soon gets insta-clipped, actually just headshot by Carpe on the side, and South Korea making France bleed right now as Carpe and Architect just putting on a clinic.
Halted together, there's your supercharged damage boosted rocket from Architect, taking multiple people apart at once. Body part's going to spray all over the floor. South Korea now going to be moving on to this third point, looking very dominant here on King's Row. France, Jaws, they need to cash in all their checks, they need to make their assets work, they need to buy some stability. Carpe and Soon, it's already been spotted out.
Oh, what a headshot by Soon, but Carpe just rips his skull clean off. You don't want to take that fight, man. Not when Carpe's got a pocket. Hib does end up rezzing Soon, and that barrage looked to solo Carpe out, but it didn't mean a thing, really. And Badosa managed to take an FD God on the side. His Supercharge is going to have to do a whole bunch of work, but Badosa going to town on the front line. Soon managed to take out Carpe, but is it actually going to be enough?
The cart's barely stopped even moving right now, Jaws. 3 minutes and 50 on the time bank, and it's only going to be Chubbs who's standing in its way.
That initial kill by Soon's going to get rezzed up by IDK, so now South Korea, 6 men on the point moving forward. Carpe takes out Leaf, a barrage from Architect behind the shield. He's basically immortal, and South Korea speed running King's Row against France. Chubbs is going to fall, and there's no only hit to take care of. A supercharger is going to end it all, and Leaf is going to go down on Tracer. That is going to be it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds on the time crank.
The presence of mind from Choyobin, some would say one of the greatest off tanks in the world. In this case, certainly seeming like it. The Giga Brain. We saw a barrage come out from South Korea's Farah. And Tech 36 respawning on the Roadhog could have been very dangerous, like getting a right click from a perfect angle, getting a left click when they got a bit close, or a hook to just cancel it out entirely. But that entire angle, the Roadhog was cancelled out by an experimental barrier that Choyobin threw out from over on the car. So it's like, okay, I'll just play around my Orisa barrier. I'm going to be an influence on this fight over here while I am still brawling with my Orisa. The man is everywhere at once.
Choi having a little bit of laughter himself there. Knew what they just did to France.
He knows what he did.
3 minutes and 20 seconds, especially on King's Row in this meta. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It'll do.
It'll do. Especially when it comes to...
We take those.
Second point as well. It's almost an insta-cap. You cap first, you roll on forwards because you want the fight, more ult charge, etc., etc. It is so hard to defend, especially when you're up against Faras as well, who can set up such a perfect angle and take the 4 position so quickly as well while you leave one of the tanks on the side. Of course, it was a bit of a different defense for France. Of course, they did have the Bastion, so Architect had to deal with that, but second point is so treacherous, and that's where you're going to lose your most time.
We got to talk about the different defense though, Jaws. France with the Bastion and the Farah, that's been their trump card in so many series. It worked so well against the UK, and it's had some efficacy as well in these playoffs. South Korea being able to dismantle it so easily could bode very poorly for the Frenchmen. May decide to go for more of these mirror matches like on Ilios, where they're going quite even. Rolling out of the gates now. Soon doesn't want to go for that early shot, just having a bit of a scout, knowing that he's up against double shield. He's not going to be getting a huge amount of value. Architect now is on the May. They cannot afford to go for an entirely slow engagement here, otherwise isolation may well be on the cards. Leaf moving over onto the Farah. The signature composition from France just a little bit too slow, and that's something Tech's been so good at, Jaws, all the way through this tournament, putting the experimental barrier in place. For South Korea, the calling is just too precise. They're there before the experimental barrier can even travel.
Soon gets deleted once again after he got rezzed by Hip. They didn't have Immortality Field. They tried to use it last time. Even Hip gets taken out of the sky by Architect. France did put the Bastion up on the high ground using the Sim. Quickly swapped off, of course, for Leaf, but they're just getting picked apart at this point.
Yeah, now how soon going to make his entrance? Unless Leaf is going to give up his ultimate charge to go over onto that Symmetra again. Instead, he's going to try and demand attention. He creates a line of sight deficit for Architect, so he cannot put up a perfect wall to make sure that Soon is isolated. This will give France a chance to move forward. If South Korea will give him a space, they're not. They're pressing W. Then they won't let their foot off the gas, Jaws.
Yeah, no, why would you? I mean, FD God used Immortality Field early once again. You know Soon doesn't really have that much protection without it. France are going to make a slow commute up these stairs. 1 minute and a bit has been elapsed as well, and South Korea building up ults. Architect's going to have this Blizzard soon as well.
Just throwing out his icicles, he's having a grand old time trying to take down Hip as he has to get into the safety of cover. FD God lays down the... Oh no, that's a miss! That is 0% amplification, matrix accuracy from my boy.
That is... whoa! Didn't mean to place it there, I'm sure. Architect looking for something rather sneaky.
Go next.
They know where he is now, actually. Nice little almost two-tap on Hip. Use the wall to escape. Point is being claimed, though. You could see Chubbs is on it, and soon just managed to kill out Badosin, so now South Korea only relying on this Lucio for healing. Hip pops the Valkyrie to move everybody forward and make sure he can keep the Orisa alive in the front line. They've secured a tick, but can they get anything more? Mano going incredibly low and soon finally finding him. Leaf is going to use that barrage, or maybe he doesn't even need to, as Architect falls as well, but what a kind of a slow push here from France, but they are making it work in the end.
We're going to call FD God's amplification matrix right there a bait. It was just trying to give South Korea a bit of extra confidence. That's going to allow France to take the point. They're going to get 2 minutes and 30 extra on their clock, 4 minutes and 10 seconds now. Try and push through B. They've got the tools to try and do this, Jaws. Configuration tank is available for soon. That's going to allow him to deal burst damage at long range if he wishes to. But who is he really going to target out with that? Architect, Carpe, they can both tank a shot. It's only going to be Badoshin, who's now on the Ana, and IDK getting hit with direct rockets from that tank that are really going to be hugely vulnerable. Leaf, he's going to have to look at these more meaty targets with his barrage. That's going to be his priority unless he can get the drop onto Badoshin.
Uh-oh, Blizzard from behind. He didn't really spot out Carpe either. There's the barrage from Leaf, though. That's 1, 2, and 3 kills. That Blizzard may have frozen up soon and killed him off, but France and Leaf are going to do the rest. Choi open now. So between a rook and a half
place.
A rock and a half place. I was going to say a rock and a payload. Oh, nice little sneak. That's all right.
Badoshin just going to put the Leaf down for a little second. France are now going to get some space on the payload. South Korea need to coalesce here. They didn't get what they wanted from that Blizzard, but will keep Architect on the mate. He's their primary tool to try and counter out this fashion. Push him up in the air with a wall, put a sleep dart exactly where he is. Choi Open's got a gravitic flux ready to go. France may not be able to defend themselves.
There's the window that they were looking for. Beautiful nade as well, but Immortality Field's going to save them for now. Chubbs' supercharger does end up going down. The flux around the corner might just do it, but Chubbs is now already dead. It's going to be disaster for France. They haven't really got a front line to really play around now. No permanent shielding at least, but Leaf doesn't care. Mano and Architect are going to go down. And now France with a beautiful time bank. 4 minutes now heading into the factory phase.
Could we be seeing 2-3 minute plus time banks on King's Row in 2019, Jaws? Could be possible. South Korea didn't invest either of their support ultimates in that particular fight, though. A lot of resilience is going to be theirs in this forthcoming battle. What are they going to use it against? Potentially just to buy stability here would be the greatest investment. But Mano's already down. You can't take this fight. Just allow that payload to move a little bit further. But by the time that you are ready to take this full engagement, you're not actually going to go with Mano here.
Nano boost. There's the rock to cancel the ults. Immortality Field's going to do a little bit, but he two-taps soon anyway. Barrage coming down from Leaf once again, but he gets taken out of the air by Choi. Good fight for South Korea so far, but they still need to take care of Leaf. He is going to get rezzed. What do they really do now? He's going to take the high ground rather easily in this war of attrition. And with Soon coming back rather soon, South Korea might be in trouble.
Mano's return to the fight, though. Still, South Korea, their front line is at full force. France taking some shield damage, going to have to back out as everyone postures for position around this cart.
What a rock.
Great rock from Choi Oben there. May not be in reservoir territory for Hip, so likely that now it's going to be France backing off. They're going to bleed this time back a little bit, and South Korea now have a definitive advantage in the forthcoming round should they occur.
That's a lot of extra shielding, 600 plus HP. We'll get whittled down a little bit. Soon has got the tank form as well. As Grasp is going to have to be saved for it. Leaf not really near the barrage. Small little flank there from Carpe. Does use the Ray form to get away. Window is going to come down as well. I'm not entirely sure where that is actually. Soon is not getting windowed at all there. No damage at AMP4 in, but Leaf managed to find a boop and Architect. A good start for France, and South Korea do end up pushing back. But Soon is now alone, the backline in trouble. They just left him alone completely. Hip might be able to get the res off though, but Carpe's already done the damage in the front line. There's still a man down as Chubbs ends up falling to Carpe's hands.
Soon he's got to be more in tune with his tank line here, just allowing FD God to move for a few extra moments. Carpe's not going to have any of that. They're re-engaging Jaws with the tank form. They think they've got him cornered. IDK's down. He has the nano on him too.
That's an easy kill. Thank you very much. Soon gets launched up into the air, straight down into a Blizzard, or maybe not, because Texie's up. Soon's going to get rocked, and Architect now moving forward, gets destroyed as the supercharger comes out. And Soon with a clip tap to the body finishes him off. Carpe going for a desperation play once again. Use the Ray form to get away. Only just managed to escape that hold as well as Mano manages to get a hold for himself as Hefty God falls off the edge.
Slightest of peak angles now. Soon is with his team. Does need to be defended, but he's up high, Jaws. There's going to be a lot of damage being applied, but a self-heal is all he needs. The accretion and a friendly mercy will keep him alive as they try and go down this final sight line.
Flux coming up, Soon's now in the air. That kind of aided him, if I'm going to be honest. There is Architect taken down soon. The barrage is going to come out from Leaf, but it gets denied. South Korea know the game plan of Leaf this time around. And without only a minute remaining, and only a couple ults for this next fight, France are in trouble.
I gotta give credit to Tech 36 for the last two death bottoms coming out of Carpe have been instantly interrupted with that accretion. He's saving it for the correct moment to make sure that Carpe does not present a win condition. South Korea after that, they have to work around just the fact that Tech 36 doesn't have an accretion. Architect almost has a blizzard though. That's what you need to watch for in this forthcoming fight. How can it be mitigated? Tech 36 can eat it, but it's gonna be a huge percentage play, and Architect's gonna look for a primary freeze before then to try and make sure that ability isn't available.
Architect's already popping block. That's a nano, that's a blizzard as well. Carpe launching himself forward. France in shambles as Tech 36 ends up going down, and now only 35 seconds remains for the Frenchman to try and complete. And they might not be able to get it for OT as well. Harry, this feels impossible at this point.
Even with the double boop, does not look like it's gonna happen. France, if it does happen, it's going to be in overtime. Then South Korea get themselves a free attack to try and claim this map for themselves. Architect, he's having a bit of a swappy here and there. What's he going to land on? It's going to be the Doomfist. A single pick, Jaws, is all he needs. He wants to counter out Leaf here. It's going to be a battle of the picks. Everyone's on the clock. They need to get value.
Bolt, Flux, no beat available from FD. Got to get launched back down to the earth. 90k finishes him off. Carpe in the front line once again. This OT is now here. South Korea, if France finish, they get a free attack, but Architect is going to launch himself in. Chapson soon end up going down, and France are going to fall as South Korea are going to claim King's Row and match point in the series.
I love that swap from Architect onto the Doomfist Jaws. He knows that he needs a quick one-win condition. A single pick will do it, and he manages to find him. Not only that, but France, they were planning for something else. They were planning to go up against the previous DPS that South Korea was showing. Element of surprise being more than enough there. France stymied once again, 2-0 for South Korea.
I said before, maybe France, they pull out something a bit wacky to trick South Korea. I mean, that's what's happened before, where South Korea don't know how to adapt or can't adapt quickly enough. Didn't happen this time around. We're going to jump to a quick break, guys. Do not go anywhere. Potential final map coming up soon.
BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Intel, the official CPU partner of BlizzCon. Cisco, the official networking partner of BlizzCon. And by HyperX. We're all gamers. BlizzCon 2019 is brought to you by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of BlizzCon. Facebook Gaming, a world of play. Corsair, do your thing. And by NVIDIA.
Welcome back, everybody. South Korea facing up against France. King's Row didn't go France's way, and South Korea still looking for revenge, and they're one map away from doing so.
Hoping that escort is going to be where they start to make their comeback. It has to be the reverse sweep that's going to happen, Jules. But going over to Dorado, that's where I really want to see. Widow on Widow action. We may see some Pharaoh duels. We do love a good Pharaoh duel, you and I. Leaf maybe versus Architect here and there, or Haxel. I'm not really sure if we've had any substitutions, but given how prompt it was to move into this map, I imagine we're going to be sticking with the same rosters.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised, to be honest. Leaf had South Korea's number at the start of King's Row. The barrages were just so good, but they're a little bit more telegraphed, of course, when they enter the Foundry phase of the map. And I gotta say, as soon as you're in an enclosed space of the Farah, it's just prime positioning for Architect. You just find a wall, of course, or even a shield to match his face from a Sigma, or even just a couple of icicles will end his life rather quickly. Felt like they needed to maybe change off their comp. Go to Reaper Doomfist a little bit earlier on and salvage some ult bank. France on the defense. South Korea on the offense. South Korea looking to take this one a clean 3-0. France need a comeback. They need to find their reverse sweep now.
That will be South Korea's last hurrah in this tournament. Obviously, they were hoping for first. Maybe we'll have to settle for third unless France can pull off that reverse sweep, as you said. It's going to be the classic French defense, the old bastion, and of course the pharmacy alongside it. Some would call it unbreakable, especially if you are British. The Koreans, they don't really mind that much. Choi Yobin gonna get some early poke here, but what are South Korea's win conditions right now? Badoshin, he's on the Zenyatta. That means you've got to put your Discord orb on a single target. Is that Tech 36? Is that the Bastion? Whichever one it's gonna be, they're gonna take a huge amount of damage when these two projectile DPS start to concentrate their fire.
Soon already going so low. Carpe on the flank is gonna get pooped away, but it doesn't matter. South Korea for so much space by Architect, and FD God goes down first as well. It does find the res, but will it cost him anything? That is the question. Carpe is on the high ground now. FD God close to that window. He might have to use it soon, although soon finding a kill on Architect's going to be a good start.
Right now, it's only going to be Mana who is on the cart. FD God's picked off, but Badoshin is trading for this. Potential maybe for a res. Leaf's coming down from on high. He's got his eyes on Choi Yobin.
Oh, Carpe from the back. He's a secret agent. Choi Bobin's also there as well. There's a perfect pincer from South Korea. IDK is going to go down, yes. But look at this blocks from the back. How do you stop that?
The flankstion came out and managed to get rid of both of South Korea's supports. They don't need no healing jaws. They got health packs in a dream. And Carpe in particular, he's got himself the bow and arrow. The cart will continue to roll on forward with FD God maintaining the amplification matrix. Going to be very hard here for us to try and make another engagement potentially. They only have a couple of slow heroes, and Carpe's already scouting them out. As they try to respawn, could find themselves victims of a couple of headshots. As soon as you can see, he's on the Widowmaker, having to try and take these sniping duels, but Carpe could get the drop on him, does not know that Hanzo is potentially behind him.
Oh. Badoshin with happy feet, doesn't manage to dodge out of the way soon. They know where he is now, and Carpe is going to match him, or at least try to go to the SMG 1v1, but Carpe wins it out. Discord orb and a couple extra as well, almost perma-pocketed in that instance. Window's going to come through as well. All that space is now going to be denied because of those dragons coming through. Soon may have got on res, but in the front line, France has taken too much damage. FD God is off to the side. Wasn't quite quick enough to help Tech, who got frozen and insta-killed. But Leaf pays it in kind as Carpe ends up going down as he nears the barrage. He's going one-on-one almost, but once again, Architect just hitting icicle after icicle on the Farah, making her back off. And all the meanwhile, Choi in the front line just doing so much work. Leaf is just having such a difficult time just getting damage done because his front line is just falling so quick.
Hip, he used the Valkyrie jaws, but it was only Leaf who was going to be a recipient of a healing, and 60 HPS isn't enough when you're face down with the might of South Korea, the accuracy of the mechanical seal, and of course the calling prowess they have. Now Badoshin ready to go over Transcendence. It's been a while since we've seen one of these. If Leaf isn't close enough when he uses Barrage, that damage can be tanked, and Architect,
they're still
flanking with the May.
Okay.
Strain the comms, Jaws. Strain the comms. Come in from every angle.
And Choi as well. Leaf's going to go down to Carpe. Now what do? Architect's in the back line with the Blizzard, and Soon's alone. Leaf gets resurrected, yes, but Chubb's in so much danger. There will be a supercharger, but it does get, well, it just wears out in the end. Not really much else has been claimed. Architect with the Blizzard in the back. France in shambles as South Korea are going to be able to cap this second point.
Choi Yobin is channeling his inner old Roadhog right here, Jaws. It used to be that you get your pig, you got a lot of health, you can just go on the flank, try and get a hook from behind. So Discord in the enemy. Architect is creating a winter wonderland under Dorado. I didn't know Mexico got this cold.
Dirty stagger. Shouldn't matter too much, of course. The carts still need to open the doors, but does mean South Korea can get a really nice position now.
Out for blood, out for revenge. Carpe going to have a quick scout. Going to be holding down tab to see what France are moving over to. It's going to be the El Clasico, Reaper, Doomfist, Sigma, Orisa. You know exactly what you're in here for, but they're up against the Hanzo. What is going to be the counterplay here? Not going to be a huge amount of value out of a Dragon Strike, likely.
Oh, they tried to get the hole in, but went a little bit wide. Take 36 now on the ground, trying to duel out against Mano, but Mano is going to get all the backup he needs. IDK now nearing the Valkyrie, instantly pops it as soon as it's available as well. They're trying to pressure out Architect, but Carpe once again in the back. Someone just has to turn and deal with him. Just someone solo on the sidelines, maybe soon, maybe something, but Carpe just needs to be dealt with.
Mano's just doing so much. Carpe's free firing this entire time, showing what the peak of mechanical skill in Overwatch can do for you. Regardless of the meta, you get that bow and arrow in Carpe's hands, he's going to tear your team apart if you're not on top of him. France have one last chance to defend here, Jaws. South Korea, they've got chances to bound for this attack. 3 minutes and 30 in the time bank, and he's hunting down
Carpe is
soon.
so good at this game. 80% on ult charge as well. France now a man down, have to deal with Blizzard, but Architect's already dead. There's going to be a supercharger coming through as well. The Resurrection Architect was perfect, and Carpe just goes to town on the front line. Leaf's going to come back on the Doofus, might have Volt, but Carpe with the Dragons finds two, and soon on the Trace is going to be the only one that's going to be able to touch, but South Korea still have ults to spare. The ball comes out for the stall, but that is going to be it. A swift boot from Architect kills off Chubbs. And a 3-minute time bank for South Korea on Dorado.
And what we're witnessing, Jaws, is nothing short of brutality. A team some would consider potentially embarrassed by their performance against USA, out to prove that they are still the team that won the Overwatch World Cup 3 times in a row. The throne won't be theirs, but they will potentially take our bronze medal and be back next year to try and recapture that throne for themselves. France, unfortunately, stands between them and reclaiming that glory. Not looking good for them.
It was all about Choi and Carpe at the start. Just flanking up on the high ground and then just pincering France. I proposed the question there at the very end. How'd you deal with Carpe? Did you just send Soon after him in the 1v1? He managed to deal with that one when Soon was on the Reaper. It's almost unstoppable at this point.
Yeah, it's very difficult to deal with that Hanzo when South Korea is presenting so many threats. Sure, you can get onto Carpe, but Choi Obin is not playing how you expect a Sigma to be played. He's playing a flanking Sigma, using these hyperspheres like a projectile DPS because he knows he can sustain himself. If everyone runs up on him, that means that your Orisa can move forward as much as she would like. You can still use that experimental barrier, dance around it for a bit of additional self-sustain, and of course you see Kreeston on anyone who's getting a little bit too hot up in your business.
Carpe was Hanzo, but they managed to speed him back to spawn just in time. Changing onto the Reaper now. France get the priority here of changing comp if needed rather quickly. South Korea do not have that luxury.
Aggressive hold here from South Korea. Don't want to give France any inches for free. They don't need to actually engage here. They just need to maintain a line of sight on the car. France here, if they had a Mei, they could wall off South Korea and potentially allow for that car to pass by unchecked. But for now, all South Korea have to do is touch this car. Time is on their side.
Double shield room stall with the Mei. Rather frustrating to deal with. Any situation, but Manu gets ejected from the room and soon just eats him all up. Same with Choi. There's still a little bit of time here, Burn, but a very, very quick fight for France potentially. Soon does get frozen up, but he's going to heal himself up and has a double pocket as well, of course. But still a bit of extra time, 20 seconds or so being stalled out as the rest of South Korea are eventually killed off or try and retreat.
The supports of France doing a great job of keeping Soon alive, who's now feeling like he can just get into that configuration recon, start using his regular blaster. He needs to find a new location. You can see he and Tech going off on an adventure. Where will they end up? Going to try and get a flank angle potentially. If they can surprise South Korea, that could be a huge boon for them. Architect's already building up towards that Blizzard. If they can get that onto Soon, may leave him in a very vulnerable position. For now, Choi Obin is controlling this corridor. Leaf is so close to this barrage, potentially thought he could get that with that rocket and then instantly try and take out the off-tank.
Now he really doesn't have to deal with the Coalescence if he doesn't want to. Soon's him and the Immortality still doesn't have to worry about what Ocean's Coal, but Hip definitely does though, as he ends up going down. No Resurrection now available for France, and Architect on the sidelines. Flanking is the name of the game if you're South Korea right now as Carpe takes out Leaf. They're going to be how to hold just under this bridge. The car is going to gently roll back a couple of meters, but France, they have a couple of ults, but issue is Architect can set up so perfectly, do what he's done before, Harry, where he sits on the side, almost baits France in, and then, hey, what do you know? Blizzard right on top of the team.
Speaking of baits, Jaws, both Architect and Carpe are looking to bait the Kinetic Grasp here out of Tech 36. The Kinetic Grasp can mitigate both of their ultimates. An early pick onto Soon may force France to move on back. Tech 36 Going to have to be very judicious about how he uses that ability, especially when it may be needed to protect Leaf. Leaf could use a ground level barrage here to have as much protection as he would like.
Supercharger being used, Leaf from high in the sky, but the beat's going to come through. That barrage doing almost negative damage. Carpe's the only one that's really injured. That Blizzard doing so much work though to Tech and Chubbs in the front line, but they still manage to survive for the time being. A halt into a flux, but Carpe's going to take out FD God. Tech 36 has to scurry for cover during his ult as Chubbs ends up going down as well. France with 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. This is not the same France we saw earlier today.
It's not the same France as well, George. They took the first match ever lost by South Korea in the Overwatch World Cup during our group stage, Group A yesterday. You can smell the need for revenge that South Korea have. They're sitting here with 3 ults and only a minute of a time bank for France. The last hope of EU needs to hang on. They need to win this next fight and get this card to the checkpoint. Otherwise, their tournament is going to be over and we're just going to be moving on straight to the gold medal.
FD God and Tech 36 are already dead. 30 seconds now for France, and South Korea burning 2 ults in that fight. Not the worst thing in the world, especially now you put France in a horrible situation where they need to touch as well. Choi has got the flux. France, no way near ults, really. I mean, maybe Leaf gets a barrage at this fight, but that could be it. In fact, no, he's not. He's just going to change over to the Doom. He needs an instant pick.
He needs a percentage play, Jaws. An instant pick is all that Leaf can hope for here. But look, everyone's on different elevations. Are you going to have to invest?
Oh, look at this. Flux is so big. FD God didn't stand a chance. And neither did the rest of France. Choi takes 2 lives. The Blizzard comes out from Architect as well. Leaf's going to be able to touch the payload to cause overtime, but this is just going to be it. France are going to get held potentially just before first. Architect's going to be able to control this so easily now with the walls. A wall-to-wall up Chubbs and separate him from the rest of the team. Leaf is going to go down as well. And South Korea finding revenge against France, who took that win off them earlier on today. A clean 3-0 and a bronze medal for South Korea.
Carpe hunting, chewing through the French lines despite the valiant efforts of a team filled with Tier 2 hopefuls. The Overwatch League veterans, 3-time winners, and now bronze medalists of 2019 will remove them from this series and claim their medal.
Leaf's looking a little bit distraught, but of course you would be too after you beat them earlier on today and now suffer a 3-0 loss. And I think you picked it up perfectly there, Harry, and you said Tier 2 hopefuls. There's so much passion and pride on the French roster. There always has been for sure, but there's so many contenders players on that lineup. Up with Soon and Hip, of course, of the Overwatch League. But imagine being in that position where you can take down just such phenomenal talent in South Korea. They have fallen to them now, but they can definitely continue to hold their heads high knowing they did their country proud.
So many lesser-known names, pro players of Overwatch who will now grace the lips of plenty of Overwatch community members, Tech 36 and Leaf especially, coming out and doing so much to represent themselves so well. Tech 36 coming out as a fantastic Sigma. You and I have cast him for 2 years now. We know him as a fantastic diva. Would he be moving into this meta as a powerhouse? Certainly seems that way, but when we talk about powerhouses, South Korea continues to hold that mantle.
That they do. 3rd place is a medal after all as well. Just like we got an interview down on the 4 though. Victory moment presented by Coca-Cola with Danny on the ground.
Leg Day and Jaws, thank you very much. BlizzCon, let's give a big, warm round of applause for your bronze medalist, Team South Korea, everybody. Congratulations, Mono. This is it. And I know that this is your 2nd Overwatch World Cup. How did it feel to, represent South Korea playing in the World Cup? 자, 이렇게 해서 대한민국이 3위로 동메달을 따게 되셨습니다. 너무 우승 너무나 축하드리고요. 일단 좀 소감을 좀 듣고 싶어요. 마노 선수 이번이 2번째 오버워치 월드컵이기도 하고 또 이렇게 대한민국을 대표해서 경기를 뛰어주셨는데 그거에 대한 소감 말씀 부탁드릴게요.
먼저 이번에는 4연속 우승을 못하고 3위로 마무리돼서 너무 아쉽고요. 그래도 다들 정말 열심히 했고 이제 실력 좋은 선수들과 코치진들이었으니까 격려와 위로 많이 해줬으면 좋겠습니다.
So first of all, I want to say I'm so sorry, and I do feel a little sad that we couldn't get the 4-peat. We couldn't do 4 years of gold medals, and I am a little sad that we ended up in bronze, getting the 3rd place and getting the bronze medal. But I just want to say we have a very talented coaching staff and players and everybody. So please, everyone, just give a lot of love and support for Team South Korea, and thank you guys so much. Mono, I just want to say, you guys did end up getting the bronze medal, but that is nothing to laugh at. Third place in the World Cup is a huge achievement. So Mono and Team South Korea, congratulations. Let's move on and give our lucky fan our jersey. Mono, can you do me the honor? 자, 이거를 팬분한테 넘겨주시면 될 것 같아요. 팬분이 또 한국에서 넘어오셨대요. 그 한국 팀을 응원하기 위해서 넘어주시고 포옹 한번 부탁드릴게요. Hug! 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 Thank you guys so much. Casters, back to you guys.
Cheers, Danny, and Mono, of course. And that is it. South Korea taking that bronze medal away from France. But yeah, there's a whole lot of love that needs to be poured into the backroom staff as well. Team South Korea, like I mentioned before, definitely holding their heads high. A bronze medal not to be scoffed at.
When we talk about love, Jaws, we have been asking all of you at home and all of you in the arena who have been watching who your Team Mobile MVP is, and so many people have been saying Corey from Team USA. They're going to be coming up next in the gold medal match. It's going to be Corey going up against Eileen, DPS superstars, Jinmu versus Sinatra. It's all going to happen right here to crown the best team, the best country in the world for 2019.
The stage has been set. USA versus China is coming up. UberX are going to be on the mics. It's going to be a heck of a game. You're not going to want to miss it, guys. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you soon.
The 2019 Overwatch World Cup is brought to you by T-Mobile. Their newest signal goes farther than ever, and it's built 5G ready. Omen, the official PC and display of the Overwatch World Cup. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch World Cup.
Mais ils peuvent encore passer. C'est fait! Le double kill à domicile!
Last 2 years, represent France is a huge honor for us.
Là où personne ne nous voit.
When esport was recognized in US or in Korea, it wasn't in France.
Unbelievable! 3 now for Soon!
He's not representing a team, he's representing a nation, and there's a ton of people watching you because they are French and they want us to win.